Guys, this is important. If you don't have enough time to watch my video now, you can watch it later, but please, for now, just scroll to this minute and watch that clip. Hi, how are you guys doing today? Hope everyone's doing well and you're living a happy, productive life as the one that you are seeking it. Today's topic is gonna be a very special one. So, have you ever thought about the time where you have lost control? Well, has it ever crossed your mind that you have never been in control? Haven't we all been there? Yes, addicted. Are we still not deeply dipped in something somehow? Could your addiction be steered? Let's answer these questions and have a little talk regarding this topic. So, what is addiction? Oxford Dictionary says doing or having something compulsively. But I mean, isn't that definition a bit misleading? And I'll tell you why I think that later in this video. To begin with, I'd like to establish a solid ground with you beautiful people that we could be addicted to anything and everything. Not only drugs, alcohol, gambling, or smoking. But let's say I'm gonna be focusing on these negative things more in this video. But I mean, couldn't you be addicted to refined sugar or caffeine? Maybe junk food? How about love? Don't you crave to be loved, heard, and listened to sometimes? There are way too many things that could fall into the category of addiction. But some addictions are just different from other ones. In fact, some addictions are good for you. Be addicted to the gym or for a morning run. By the way, it's 6 a.m. in my part of the world and I can't wait to go for my morning run. But I said to myself, let me finish shooting this video first and then I'll go for it. You could be addicted to a morning cup of matcha. Do that instead of your morning coffee dose. And trust me, matcha can give you huge amounts of energy. Be addicted to good empowering acts, such as shifting your mindset in regards of dieting. Say to yourself that you are not dieting, you changed your lifestyle to a healthy one. And this is a quote from the 4-time Mr. Olympia, Jay Cutler. In this video, you'll find me quoting and using a lot of Alan Carr's easy way methods. Alan Carr, who's a life philosopher, defines addiction in a more realistic way, at least in my opinion. In his Easy Way collection, he defines addiction as follows: doing something repeatedly that you wish you haven't done at all, or can't stop doing, or that you wish you did less, but cannot. Usually, drug addicts, for instance, define themselves as users. And to me, that doesn't even express feeling the trap. Meanwhile, he's just like the fly on a picture plant. And this picture plant reverses the usual way of nature by which animals such as flies and insects feed on plants. In fact, the picture plant supplements its diet by trapping and eating flies and insects. Isn't that fascinating? So, addicts are just like those who went to be the special guests of the chef and unfortunately ended up as being the chef's special. See, the helpless fly is not the guest, but the meal itself. Can you smell the similarity of addiction? I know stories about real people in real rehabilitation centers that are addicted to bad smell. They are there to break their addiction to smelling. Imagine that, craving the smell of. Let's take an example of alcoholics. Just like the bug in the picture plant, the trap is designed to fool them that they are in control, and they choose to do so by their free will. After all, why would any addict want to quit if they enjoy their addiction? Why would any alcoholic want to quit? They're enjoying it, aren't they? And it doesn't cause them any problem. But when they reach a point where they have lost friends, family, job, and maybe even their homes, then it's very obvious that alcohol is ruining their lives. But why at such time, when it's most essential for them to quit, don't they practice their free will and do so? This loss of control did not happen overnight, but it's very obvious now that they were never in control in the first place. It's the same for all bad addictions. So now we can readjust the definition of an addict from someone who has lost control to someone who has never been in control. Also, society has shifted. It wasn't like 1,000 years ago when everyone was smoking and drinking as a social act. Let's say almost all of Hollywood stars, singers and performers used to smoke because of this society. And now I don't think there's a parent on planet that urges and supports their children to smoke. Even parent smokers themselves. Doesn't that ring a bell? Looks like they wish they have never even started. Additionally, it's not social anymore, and it's more obvious because of the medicine and the advancement of health education. As a recovering smoker, it's when you see a youngster smoking, you pity him or her. I say, you poor thing. only if you could see what you're letting yourself in for. The more you're down the trap, the greater the apparent need for these negative addictions. The more you'll have to justify it by pretending to yourself and to everyone else that you are in control. I don't even have to insult your intelligence by stating the obvious. Consider me as just a reminder. The subject extends further and further, and I cannot give it its true value in such a short video. So to wrap things up, try to compare genuine pleasure to real addiction. You'll know the difference. Just like enjoying sports or reading or maybe seeing your loved ones. This is genuine pleasure. Where on the contrary, smoking, drinking, gambling and poor eating will only cause you to feel miserable and unhappy on the long run. Can you see the lead now? Just like light in total darkness. Can you see the stars? Oh, and one more thing, the gift. You can find down below in the description box a link that will take you to a gift that is specially made for you. That could actually be true help if you find yourself dipped into things that you know it's taking a lot of time, money and energy from you. Let me also leave you a link for the books that can help. And do not hesitate to ask for it. Do not hesitate to write down in the comment box if you need any help. And I'll connect you with people that are really, really helpful to break any and all bad habits that we acquire. Have a good day and see you next weekend.
Our thoughts could make us sick. So if it's possible that our thoughts could make us sick, is it possible that our thoughts could make us well? The answer is absolutely yes. 95% of who we are by the time we're 35 years old is a memorized set of behaviors, emotional reactions, unconscious habits, hardwired attitudes, beliefs, and perceptions that function like a computer program. So then a person can say with their 5% of their conscious mind, I want to be healthy, I want to be happy, I want to be free. But the body's on a whole different program. So then how do you begin to make those changes? Well, you have to get beyond the analytical mind, because what separates the conscious mind from the subconscious mind is the analytical mind. And that's where meditation comes in, because you can teach people through practice how to change their brainwaves, slow them down. And when they do that properly, they do enter the operating system where they can begin to make some really important changes. Most people then wait for crisis or trauma or disease or diagnosis. They wait for loss, some tragedy to make up their mind to change. And my message is, why wait? And you can learn and change in a state of pain and suffering, or you can learn and change in a state of joy and inspiration. And I think right now, the cool thing is that people are waking up. And then I think the hardest part is to teach our body emotionally what the future will feel like ahead of the actual experience. So what does that mean? You can't wait for your success to feel empowered. You can't wait for your wealth to feel abundant. You can't wait for your new relationship to feel love, or your healing to feel whole. I mean, that's the old model of reality, of cause and effect, waiting for something outside of us to change how we feel inside of us. And when we feel better inside of us, we pay attention to whoever or whatever caused it. But what that means then is that most people spend their whole life living in lack, waiting for something to change out there. The moment you start feeling abundant and worthy, you are generating wealth. The moment you're empowered and feel it, you're beginning to step towards your success. The moment you start feeling whole, your healing begins. And when you love yourself and you love all of life, you'll create an equal. And now you're causing an effect. And I think that's the difference between living as a victim in your world, saying, I am this way because of this person or that thing or this experience. They made me think and feel this way. When you switch that around, you become a creator of your world, and you start saying, my thinking and my feeling is changing an outcome in my life. And now that's a whole different game, and we start believing more that we're creators of reality. It's a scientific fact that the hormones of stress downregulate genes and create disease, long-term effects. Human beings, because of the size of the neocortex, we can turn on the stress response just by thought alone. We can think about our problems and turn on those chemicals. That means then our thoughts could make us sick. So if it's possible that our thoughts could make us sick, is it possible that our thoughts could make us well? And the answer is absolutely yes.